Welcome to our daily practice session. Thank you. So, I invite you to just take a seat before we begin. What the session will entail is a 20 to 25 minute daily mindfulness meditation practice. So, we'll begin in a couple of minutes so you can get comfortable. Find your couch, your bed, your chair, maybe even stand. Does not really matter. What matters is your intention for practice. How are you showing up for your practice today? So today we'll be practicing mindfulness of thoughts. So in order to orient ourselves for our daily practice sessions, I invite you to notice what you are feeling right now. Maybe closing your eyes. Noticing what comes up. And orienting yourself to acceptance. Not completely accepting everything. It's just an orientation, a slight inclination towards acceptance of what is. Gratitude for whatever has been and will be for you. Orienting yourself to loving kindness for others and self. And treating your practice with compassion. So that's the intention for our initial orientation. So when you're ready, you can keep your eyes closed or maybe opening it, depending on how you would like to practice today. Noticing the posture, noticing the breath, noticing the body right here, noticing noticing the breathing. Where do you sense your breath? And finding your stillness. And stillness doesn't mean you stop moving. It's just an attitude for our practice so that we can see things clearly. So as we notice the breath, as we direct our attention to the breath, to the body sensations or to sounds, the same joyful, loving awareness can be directed to notice your thoughts. And today we'll be exploring mindfulness of thoughts. Noticing the thoughts and letting things be or letting things go. And this is the practice. We will try to practice this over and over again until it becomes our nature. Not second nature, just nature. Before we begin, I would like to invite you for an experiment. So the experiment is, for the next 1 minute, I invite you to try to count your thoughts. So let's go. So closing your eyes and start counting your thoughts. It could be images, it could be sounds, it could be anything. As soon as you notice a thought pops up, and start to count your thoughts from now. 3, 2, 1. Noticing the thoughts that come up in your mind. Start counting them. You have another 40 seconds. Just keep counting. Keep counting. Noticing the thoughts that pop up. Another 20 seconds. Just count all the thoughts that you are aware of. Last 5 seconds. Start counting the thoughts. And come back to stillness. So, what did you notice? You probably notice picture thoughts or word thoughts. Some people think primarily maybe in images, others in words. Some have the audio and visual thoughts coming together like a movie, and you just noticed all of it. There might be also very soft thoughts that come in the background saying things like, there haven't been many thoughts, which also is a thought. And your job was there just to observe, simply noticing the number of thoughts that came through for you. And keep that number for later. So checking with yourself how many thoughts you were able to notice. The number doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you have fewer thoughts, or if you have longer thoughts that there is something wrong or something is incorrect. That is absolutely not true. So just trusting all the thoughts that have come, and keep that count just for yourself. What is important is that you realize that it is possible to step outside the ever-flowing stream of thoughts and witness them with your joyful, loving awareness. As we incorporate our thoughts into our meditation practice, we start by following the sensations of the breath, the sensations of the body, and then stream of thoughts in the background, letting them be. Let them rise and fall like the waves of the ocean around the breath. And you would probably notice after 3 breaths or 6 breaths or 10 breaths, a strong thought arises and carries your attention away. And as soon as you notice this thought, I invite you to name it, label it to its predominant quality. You can use simple notes like planning, remembering, judging, worrying, imagining, or fear, anger, maybe conflating with emotions, happy thought, interesting thought, creative thought, painful thought, and so on and so forth. Simply naming and acknowledging the thought is supportive of the witnessing quality of your joyful, loving awareness. Once you have noted a thought gently for some time, you'll notice that it dissolves like a cloud under sunlight. Thoughts are ephemeral. They are empty. They have no substance except what we invest in them. Once we understand it, usually the thought dissipates. It diminishes, and you can simply return to your stillness. Simply return again to the mindfulness of the breath and body. Noticing how you are here. Noticing the sensations of the breath. The cool in breath, the rise and fall of the chest or belly. And just simply wait until the next thought or emotion or sound pulls your attention away from the stillness. Sometimes you don't have to wait that long. Stepping out of the stories the thought tells, you can see the common patterns of thought without being caught in them. More importantly, you begin to rest in the field of joyful, loving awareness rather than being repeatedly carried away by thought. Where is your mind right now? Has it got caught up in a thought? If so, just gently naming it, labeling it, diminishing its effects, and simply returning to the sensations of breath or the body. And this is it. The entire practice is surrounds coming back to stillness. Now, as you go deeper into the practice, you can alternate mindfulness of breathing with mindfulness of other strong experiences when they arise. You become a steady, loving witness of all that arises and passes. You become a peaceful one, sitting still amidst the rising and falling waves of experience. Here are some further ways to investigate and learn about thought as you gradually become aware. Notice how it feels the very moment you shift from being absorbed or lost in thought to simply naming it without being swept into it. How does that feel? How does that feel when you are released from the clutch of your thought? Noticing which types of thought really have an effect on your body immediately, and you become really aware of it. What type of thoughts affect your body, and that you become aware of it. Notice how some thoughts automatically bring strong sensations, positive, negative, and how some emotions automatically bring up certain thoughts. and vice versa, how it is all interconnected. Learning to witness this interplay between thoughts and emotions. Just witnessing it. Witnessing it, knowing full well that you are not attached to it. Witnessing it as a loving friend would watch over another friend. Witnessing it like watching the sunset. Witnessing it like watching your children play. Noticing the experience of the space between the thoughts. Deliberately bring up maybe a difficult thought, loving thought, and notice how powerfully these thoughts and their connected emotions affect the whole state of your body and mind. Imagine you are the open sky and thoughts float through like clouds, sensing what it is like to shift from thinking to lovingly noticing the clouds. And I invite you to spend a few minutes here, noticing the thoughts as they come up and simply returning back to the stillness whenever you notice your thought has taken over. And knowing that your thoughts don't have the power over you, you have the power over your own thoughts. And as you cultivate joyful, loving awareness and mindfulness, you start to notice the thoughts for what they are and how they are not the truth, and how their powers can be diminished by simply observing with your joyful, loving awareness. As we come towards the end of the practice, just simply returning to the breath, simply returning to the body, knowing that you are in control of where you put your attention, and what you practice gets stronger. So if we practice observing the thoughts with non-judgmental awareness, we free ourselves from the grips of the thoughts. And that was the essence of today's practice. So simply opening your eyes if they are closed, coming back to your room, house, place, and simply enjoying the rest of your day. Thank you for taking the time out for practicing with me today. Appreciated. My name is Nikhil. I am a mindful life coach. And today we've been practicing mindfulness of thoughts. And I thank each and every one of you for joining me here. Appreciate it.